Good evening, this is News.PH, but it's not politics as usual. I'm Pia Hontiveros. Tonight, News.PH returns to the senatorial campaign trail. We have three candidates with us: Greco Belgica of the Democratic Party of the Philippines, Teddy Casino of Makabayan, and Ricardo Penson, an independent. Good evening, Greco, Teddy, and Sir.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for being here. So let's begin with you. The anti-political dynasty movement seems to be catching fire. No? It's always a topic in debates, in fora, in social media, in media. But the funny thing is, it doesn't seem to be helping your own campaign when we talk about your performance, for example, in the surveys.
Yeah, well, first, I'm glad that the anti-political dynasty movement has gained awareness in this campaign. But whether it's affected my ranking, that's dependent on which false Asia survey you're referring to. But
False
Asia.
Not spelled P-U-L-S-E, no?
Yeah,
Yung SWS, anong tawag niya sa SWS?
They're one and the same. One is for Una Siguro, one is for LP. They conduct their surveys in their own backyards. They have their results. I mean, surveys, if you'll base it on what other countries do with it, surveys are supposed to help the one who commissioned the survey adjust strategies. But here it's used for public consumption. So it's done as a mind conditioning exercise. It should not be done that way.
But some of these surveys are not commissioned by either UNA or the LP or Team Pinoy.
Well, that's what they want to make us believe. But then how come people come to us asking for enrollments in these surveys? So it's all a matter of perception. But I think it is mind conditioning.
Yeah, but this anti-dynasty movement, so the issue resonates with voters. It resonates with people. Pero yun nga, no, para bang hindi, I don't know, maybe there's something in the messaging, your name doesn't get attached to it.
Well, I don't try to ride on it. I'm glad that people have caught up to it and use it as part of their campaign. But we associate ourselves more with Cruzada contra Dynasty, because whatever the outcome of this election, we intend to pursue the other avenues open to us, like People's Initiative and all that. But during the campaign, what I want the people to know is that there really is no, it was just a spin given to us from the 8th to the 15th Congress that it requires an enabling law. It does not. The Supreme Court has made several decisions already on it, saying that provisions of the Supreme Court cannot be subjected to a legislature for approval. That's like subverting the will of the people.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means probably there's a collusion now between the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary, because we filed a petition for mandamus to compel Congress to act on the House and Senate bills, pending House and Senate bills, one of them from Teddy. But they hide under the guise that we cannot compel a co-equal body. But then our Constitution says clearly only the Supreme Court can be the final arbiter of provisions of the Constitution.
So where does that leave you now?
Well, we went ahead and filed a disqualification petition with the COMELEC for clear and obvious dynasties, meaning to say those that would not require a definition of how far political dynasty is supposed to be defined, a second, third, or fourth degree of affinity. So clear and obvious. So we filed against several clear and obvious dynasties.
You took up this cause only for this election, right?
No, actually,
this was an old.
It's an old advocacy of ours. My father and I mean, my father used to bring me to the Constitutional Commission to talk to members of the delegates of the commission to try and...
The 1986,
86, yes. This was after I came back from America. And that's where I learned that the lessons from the pre-martial law, the martial law years, must be included in this new Constitution. So they included Article 2, Section 26. And the notes of that commission does not even mention at all. They all had an agreement of what political dynasty is. There was no need for definition. As I've said repeatedly, everybody knows what a political dynasty is except our Congress.
Okay. But your whole campaign is anchored on that, right? In a
Well,
sense.
it is the master centerpiece of the campaign. But of course, we have a full legislative agenda.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a while. Greco Belgica, itong flat tax rate, meaning no more real estate tax, no more VAT, no EVAT, no sin tax. Are you really serious about this?
Yeah, ginagawa na po yan sa 43 nations all over the world. And the top business nations are all in flat tax. Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Russia, almost all part of Europe, some part of the States, the Middle East are all in flat tax. This is not a new proposal. In fact, you will be surprised that the Philippines began with the flat tax. I'm just saying this is a better system na ibabalik natin dito sa ating bayan.
But why would you use that as your campaign agenda?
Well, number one, gusto kong masenso ang mga Pilipino. Pag binaba niyo po ang buwis, bababa lahat ng presyo ng bilihin, lalaki naman po ang kita natin. Sobra-sobra na po ang pagbubuwis sa kinukuha sa atin ng gobyerno. Kaya ang gobyerno, dami-daming pera, ang tao walang pera. Palagay ko dapat taong maraming pera kaysa sa gobyerno. Pag ang tao may pera, magkakapera rin ng gobyerno kasi magbabayad ng buwis.
Where did you get that idea? I mean, of course,
okay.
Apart from what's already being practiced abroad.
Well, it is a...
Who gave that idea to you?
Well, the 10% flat tax, of course, I have to credit it from the Bible. It comes after the teaching of the tithe. But the flat tax is a tax principle. Tatlo po kasi yan eh. Isang progressive, isang proportionate or flat, and isang regressive. Biblical standard talks about the flat or the proportionate taxes. Kasi, ibig sabihin ma'am, everybody will be taxed at the same rate. So if you make 1 million, you pay 100,000. If I make 10,000, then I pay 1,000. So the rich still pays more and the poor still pays less. However, yung corruption sa collection mawawala at saka po yung mga mayayaman talagang magbabayad ng tama. Sa taxes po natin kasi ngayon, yung mayayaman hindi nagbabayad ng tama. Yung recent report po ng BIR lumalabas na wala pang 1% na nagbabayad ng tamang buwis dahil yung mayayaman are able to avail of the tax credits, the foundations, the exemptions, which the poor don't get. The poor, diretso yan, 5 to 32%, tanggal kagad. Lahat tayo nagbabayad ng 12% EVAT kaya nagtataasan ng presyo ng bilihin. Can you imagine, ma'am? Aalisin mo lang po yung flat tax mo lang, suddenly if you're making 20,000, parang 40,000 na kagad na kinikita mo. You'd be able to save money and then invest for your own business. Will be like the Middle Easterns, the Arabs. The Arabs don't work for they don't work for kapwa nila Arabs because they have money and they have money to invest, and that's why they import labor. So,
does anybody ever tell you that this is such a wild idea?
Of course, I have to admit it's a bit radical, but it is more realistic. Pagka sa practice po, pag inisip natin dito dahil it's a new concept dito sa Philippines, parang radical naman yan, Greco. Pero pag sa practice, realistic po yan. Collapse economy like Russia. The miracle of Russia, in first year, 30% kagad almost ang tinaas. For the second year, tumaas kagad ang collection nila ng 50%. On the third year, 80% collection rate kasi people are willing to pay the right tax.
But if elected, do you think it's realistic to expect that you can get this passed in Congress?
Yes, ma'am. With one man, taxes went up. With one man, taxes can go down. It's harder to pass a tax na itataas mo dahil naapektado ang lahat ng tao. Di ba, Senator Reflecto passed the EVAT law? That's one man. Tsaka iba na po ang panahon ngayon. Ngayon po, pag pinasa niyo po yan sa Senate, pag-uusapan niya ng buong bayan. Ako po, simple lang ang gagawin ko. Who doesn't want low taxes? Everybody wants low taxes because you get to spend your own money, take care of your own money. Now, pagka ipinasa ko po yan, na ipaglalaban po yan, pag pinasa ko po yan, at lahat po ng mga senador na kukontra dyan, ililista ko lang po ang pangalan nun. Tapos dadalhin ko sa media, sa Facebook, sa Twitter. Ito po ang mga senador na ayaw pumayag ibalik sa inyong pera ninyo. At ayaw pa... 3 araw lang si Senator Ralph Recto nag-resign sa kanyang committee chairmanship. To this day, si Senator Tito Soto, hirap na hirap bumangon sa kanyang integridad. Sa Facebook lang po, sa Twitter, tinira yon. Iba na po ngayon. We can expressly talk about our comments and social media.
Okay.
And this will pass, definitely.
Okay. Congressman Teddy Casino, you stand for many things. If we were to ask you, what would be the top 3 that you would fight for if elected? What would these be?
Ang kailangan ma-address talaga natin yung problema ng kahirapan. No, I want to be a representative of the ordinary folk. And the ordinary folk, really, the biggest problem is poverty. And para sa akin, we have to go back to the basics. One, yung acting nasa agricultural sector, our farmers, they are the most impoverished. So we have to still implement a genuine agrarian reform program that will guarantee not only land, but also the whole package of reforms to increase the incomes of our farmers. And that will,
Like what reforms?
Ang,
Ano pa bang kulang
kasabay
ngayon?
niyan yung food security. Like, for example, yung mismong pamimigay ng lupa, it comes with a 30-year loan. No? And most farmers cannot pay that. So eventually, bumabalik din yung lupa doon sa dating may-ari o nabebenta illegally.
Sa iba.
And then, to ensure that they really increase their incomes, kailangan kumpleto ang support structure niyan, from credit to post-harvest facilities, marketing, distribution, the works. No? Just like in other countries, they really support their farmers. That's one. Pangalawa, yung pag-revive ng ating mga industriya. No, because apparently the services sector is not enough. No? Ang nangyayari kasi sa atin, talagang umangat yung services, but agriculture and industry are...
Talking about what? BPO?
Yes, BPO, tourism, and everything ngayon halos services na eh. But I think we still have to really go back to basics, yung industriya natin, from our micro, small, medium enterprises, even to the medium term and big. No? Of course, ang pangunahin dyan yung agro-industry. No? And that will provide the permanent jobs, the higher wages that we are all looking for. And thirdly, we have to really do something about prices. I agree, masyado malaki yung tax, particularly yung value-added tax. If it can't be removed on the basic utilities, then at least kalahati lang siguro. So there can be 2 levels of value-added tax. Also, yung apparently the policy of privatization and deregulation has not worked, especially for power, for oil, for the basic utilities. And we have to reverse that. And then, wag nang ipagpatuloy. Yung privatization naman, pati sa public hospitals, pati sa water districts, they are now planning to also to give that all to the private sector. That will lead to higher prices. So ito yung tingin ko kagyap na kailangang harapin talaga ng Senado.
Yung sa land reform, you're saying that you don't want farmers to have to pay for the land that they get. Para bang libreng ibibigay?
Well, the principle there is that if you're going to till the land and make it productive, ibigay na sa iyo yung lupa. No, but may catch doon. No, make it productive and really farm it. No, o kung hindi man siguro libre, then there should be
You mean a minimal payment compared to what they need to pay now?
Yes, kasi otherwise hindi uunlad eh. Hindi lalaki yung income ng magsasaka. Ang nangyayari ngayon sa maraming kaso, yung dating binibigay nila sa landlord, napupunta naman ngayon sa bangko tsaka sa mga usurero. It really hasn't improved the lives of our farmers. Yan yung yan yung bulto ng mahihirap sa ating bansa.
Have you been able to study kung yung dating binibigay sa landlord, sa landowner, mas malaki ang binibigay sa bangko, sa land bank, yung binabayad sa land bank?
Well, there are no...
walang ganun, ano?
Wala eh. Yung mismong records kasi ng Department of Agrarian Reform, malabo eh. They cannot even tell us ilan na sa mga lupang pinamigay nila ang nabalik sa mga dating may-ari. Ilan dyan yung binenta na. Because iba yung on paper, iba yung actual na gamit na. No? Many of these lands are, in fact, have been converted de facto into residential units, residential areas, na hindi alam ng DAR yan.
On your second point, are we talking about we should be into manufacturing?
Yes, definitely.
Are we manufacturing anything? Parang
alam mo, the most dramatic dyan is our mining industry. We have $800 billion to $1 trillion worth of minerals in our country. We have all the ingredients for industrialization, but we do not even have a metals industry. Ultimo karayom at pako ini-import pa natin. No? So, ang daming resources for industrialization sa mining sector, pero ang nangyayari sa mining natin, export ng lupa. No? Same with agro-industry. Very rich agricultural lands, maganda yung produkto, pero walang industriya eh. Walang higher value ang produkto ng ating mga magsasaka.
Okay. We'll have to take a short break. News.PH will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News.PH on the Solar News channel. I'm Pia Hontiveros. Our guests, In this meeting, the Avance candidate series, Greco Belgica, Teddy Casino, and Ricardo Penson. Teddy, you spent what, 7 years in college?
Hindi naman. I stopped for 1 year.
Okay.
And then, nag-thesis ako for 2 years because at that time, full-time.
Wait, why did you stop?
Pinatigil ako ng magulang ko.
Because?
They felt I was too involved.
Sumobrang pagka-aktivista mo.
Ano yan? It was my freshman year, right after EDSA. No? And so they felt na baka masyado akong nalululong sa pagiging aktivista. So tumigil ako ng 1 taon.
Okay.
Out of respect for my parents.
Okay.
Pero pagbalik ko, edi ganun din.
Ganun din.
Okay.
Tapos look at you now, no? And then 2 years into, anyway, okay. So nagbuhay aktivista. And then hanggang ngayon parang ganun pa. Is that what keeps
yes.
you youthful looking?
We have what we call our yung pinaka-motto namin simpleng pamumuhay, puspusang pakikibaka. So I stick to that credo. No? Talagang simple lang. Walang frills, walang mga luho sa buhay. And it keeps me sane. I think it keeps me well-grounded. Probably keeps me young. I don't know, but...
Yeah. What do you think of this RJ versus RA?
Well, that's...
stage in your life.
That's
the life of the movie.
Matagal na, mahigit 1 dekada na yan. There will always be debates and disagreements among parties and among groups pursuing a certain principle or ideology. So it's a natural part of being in the movement.
So natural progression. So
Yeah.
is it going to get worse? I mean, are you?
No,
is it
I
going
think-
is it going to get more strident?
I think we've seen the worst of the debates. And now, each group has its own path, has its own mission in life laid down. Magkakabanggaan na lang siguro on specific issues and but hindi na yung kasing grabing awayan nung early 90s na na-experience ko.
Yeah. Or like lately, yung kunyari pupunta sa Akbayan press conference or merong yung ibang grupo pupunta sa mga government offices.
Yeah, well, ano rin kasi yan well, it's yung ganyang militant actions is always part of the tradition, no? And it's always a very emphatic way of bringing your message across. It might not be agreeable for a number of our people, but you have to agree it sends a message across, no? But para sa akin, ganyan talaga pag ang isang organisasyon o kilusan nagkakahiwalay, nagkakasplit, it will always be madugo, no? It will always be masakit para sa bawat kampo. At ano yun, magtutuloy-tuloy yun.
Okay. Greco Belgica, from councilor to senator. What a huge jump.
Well, hindi naman po. Ang konsehal,
hindi naman po?
parehas din ang trabaho noon. Ang iniikot kong distrito, si distrito rin na iniikot ng congressman. At konsehal po ako ng Maynila. Hindi naman po ako konsehal ng probinsya. Malaki ang hawak ko pag umiikot kami. Same stature. But that is not the case, ma'am. The issue at hand is sobra na ang hirap ng ating bayan at alam natin paano sosolvein. Simple lang, ibaba mo lang buwis, flat tax mo lang, aasenso po ang lahat ng mamamayan. Ang pera iniipit po ng mga politiko nasa taas. Ang dami-dami ng pera rito sa Pilipinas. Can you imagine 2.06 trillion for this year samantalang 12 years ago 500 billion lang, nakaumandar naman na tumakbo naman ng maayos ang pamahalaan, both national and local. Samantala ngayon, 2 trillion na, ang lumaki lang rito, pork barrel po nila, intelligence fund nila, ang napalitan lang dito, first name ng mga kandidato. Buhay natin, ganun pa rin. So, how do you solve this? You solve this in the City Council, you solve this in Congress. Ang dami-dami yung sa Congress, mga gandang bill, nakapending kasi 20 years na hindi na ipapasabay.
Okay.
Administration measure, lang ang pumapasa sa Kongreso. Pag-usapan natin ito sa Senado, mariresolve ito.
Are you trying, what are you trying to do, Greco? By running for the Senate, you're on the national stage. That's how you
No, you want
get it.
there's an advocacy, ma'am. The advocacy, paliitin natin ang kapangyarihan ng pamahalaan, balik natin ang kapangyarihan at resources ng bayan.
No, what I meant kasi is, for example, if you go for a lower position, Congress muna, no?
Hindi
hindi ka masyadong papansinin dahil ang tinatakbo mo local position.
Hindi ko
Ganun ba
papasa
yun?
yung advokasya. Hindi mo makakatch yung changes na gusto mo.
Because if you talk about flat tax rate, if you're running for Congress, sinong papansin, di ba?
Pagdating mo sa Congress, hindi ipapasa, babato po yan sa mga committee. Gusto kong ipasa para umasenso ang ating bayan at ang ating mamamayan. Yun, that's why sa Senate, ma'am, yung masyadong malaki, masyadong posible, sa isip lang po ng tao yan. Pero pag nangyari na yan, naisulat na sa batas yan, nandyan na yan, hindi na imposible yan, then it becomes a reality. So palagi ko, prejudices lang ng mga, saan ba nag-umpisa kahit sino? Mas imposible, ma'am, yung maging senador ka na nakakulong ka. Mas imposible, ma'am, yung wala ka naman experience sa politika, hindi ka naman, never ka naman na-elect, pero naging senador ka. Mas imposible yun. Ako, bata ako naging konsehal, bata pa ako nasa politika, nag-serve ako sa birokrasya, experience, mas marami po ako naging experience kaysa sa iba
kaysa sa ibang
senador.
Tulad nino doon.
Ay, wag na lang po. Nagagaling naman po sila lahat. Pero
ibang episode na lang yun, mahaba ba listahan? Mr. Penson, can you tell us, as a businessman, what can you bring to politics?
Well, a lot. I've been dealing with government for the last 40 years.
Wow, sakit ng ulo.
So I was an activist in my younger days. No? We had the same thinking with Teddy. And because of this, I carry that passion. You cannot really take the activist out of the Filipinos' soul. Now, I've been in business also when I came back after we passed the Constitution in '87. I was in government for a few years. And then I got involved in business. The business became very successful. In 2010, we were able to offload 51% to a large Philippine conglomerate. And after that, we got the awards for the projects that we pushed for the last 15 years. I was able to bring the first Transformational Engineering Award from the World Infrastructure Summit to a Philippine company, which was our company. So I feel that.
What company was this, sir?
Osfil Tollways.
Osfil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because of this, I think there's a lot of changes that we need to instill in government. There are so many areas that government has no business being in. And there are also some areas that expertise in the private sector can help stimulate the economy.
Can you be specific, like what specific expertise?
For a country of 96 or 99 million Filipinos, we only have you can count with one hand the number of conglomerates we have. So we have not really prospered. We have not developed or matured anything in this country. Not our politics, not our businesses. So the hold of dynasties in our country, I have to keep going back to dynasties because it is really the root of all that is wrong with this country. In the provinces, it is led by one family politically. They also control the business, the economy of that province. The same in big cities. So with the combined experience and theoretical advantage that I've learned, I think I can bring with me a huge contribution to how policies should be made for government. Just look at how the disparity is now. We have a young 16-year-old student committing suicide while we gave away 1.6 million pesos in Christmas bonuses to our senators. We have a sultanate that is recognized by so many countries for 400 years before the republic was even here. And we send they send some of their troops to reclaim a part that they believe in their hearts to be theirs. And our leadership, because of its weakness, would even call them criminals, and now that they're arrested, would offer a hand of offer its hand to defend them in court.
Okay. We have very little time left, so we'll try and do this quickly. How are you raising funds, Teddy?
Well, I'm selling teddy bears for one.
Hindi nga. Teddy bears.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Teddy bears.
Yeah, but magkano lang yun? Let's talk about the big money.
The big funds come from donations. Lahat na ho ng mga kamag-anak, lahat ng mga kaibigan, nilalapitan natin. At ang maganda ho naman sa akin, because I have a lot of networks on the ground, mga
Right,
NGOs, people's organizations. It doesn't cost much. No? Yung mga sorties ko, pamasahe lang talaga. When I'm in a place, someone takes off my accommodations, may mga nagdidikit na ng posters namin, voluntary lahat. So we're really raising funds basically for TV ads, no, and materials. Yung logistics hindi na masyado mabigat.
Greco?
Well, I'm a minister, so we have churches. So I talk to to our members, to our friends, our family. Basically po, yung ginagastos ko rito, yung kinikita ko sa pamilya ko, humihingi ako sa mga, nagsasabi ako sa mga magulang ko, sa kapatid ko, kaibigan, mga kasimbahan. And voluntary, I tell them, wala na akong pang posters. Kung gusto nyo talaga akong tulungan, gusto nyo magbago talaga ating bayan, magpa-print kayo, sabi nyo sa simbahan nyo, sa bahay ninyo.
Okay.
And they are helping.
Yeah. Mr. Penson?
Well,
Your own money.
He has a lot of money. So.
No, I guess my claim to fame is that my activist friends are still friends up to now.
Okay.
I have so many long-time friends, and in business, I developed also a lot of friendship. So from there, we got some contributions, and then the bulk of it really comes from my own pocket.
Okay. Very quick questions, very quick answers. Mr. Penson, if you don't make it this time, will you run again in 2016, and for what position?
I'm in to win, so I intend to win this election. I think the people, just the mere fact that the awareness is already there, is just a matter of converting that to vote. So if I don't make it, I don't want to think about it, but I'll think about it when we get there in 2016.
After May 13, 2013. Greco?
Well, I intend to win. But if I don't win, probably magiging TV host lang ako, gaya mo.
Ganon. Saan?
Hindi ko alam.
Solar o ibang channel?
Pwede kahit saan.
Pero tatakbo ka ulit 2016?
Para maitaloy natin ang ating...
For what? Senate? Or would you go for...
We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Okay. And Teddy, if you don't make it this time?
It's not on my mind right now. I'll try to win this time.
Okay.
And then whatever happens, tsaka na pag-isipan.
Okay, so wala na tayong oras for parting words. Thank you very much, Greco Belgica, Teddy Casino, and Ricardo Penson. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you for being with us. I'm Pia Hontiveros. This is News.PH. See you again next Wednesday. Good night.